Volume of a cylinder. So here we have our cylinder shape. And to find the volume of this cylinder shape, we use this formula. V equals B times H. V stands for the volume, and it's equal to B, which is this area of base. So it's this whole area of the top or bottom circular part of the cylinder, times the height of the cylinder. Now, this formula isn't going to be the one we use. I'm going to show you how to find the area of base and so that you can find the volume of a cylinder. To do that, we're going to step away from the textbook and go to this formula sheet. This formula sheet I have attached into our Google Classroom so you can reference it at any time. So I said, we're finding the volume of a cylinder. And the first thing we had was that V equals B times H. B was that area of base. So we're going to kind of ignore this formula, and we're going to really pay attention to this formula right there. So to find B, or area of base, it's pi times the radius squared. So instead of B, we're going to just reference this as pi times radius squared in this formula. So you're going to take pi and multiply it by the radius. The radius is half of the diameter. Diameter is the whole way across a circle. The radius is half of the diameter. So radius squared, so pi times the radius squared, and then times the height. And that's going to give us the volume of this cylinder. So let's go back and do some practice problems. Now to practice, I'm actually not going to do practice problems out of the textbook. We're going to go to Get More Math, and we're going to do the practice problems from Get More Math because they're going to be the same types of problems that you're going to see when you're doing the homework. So let's start and identify some information here. We have 8 yards here and 16 yards. Okay, so this obviously is the height. So I'm going to make that H. 8 yards, and we can see the dashed line is only half of the circle. So that's showing us our radius. So we've identified our numbers here that go into our formula. Volume equals. So volume equals pi times the radius. The radius is 8. And it's pi times radius squared times the height. The height is 16. So to find the volume, all we have to do is plug this into the calculator. So we can come over to our calculator, and I have it split screen with our calculator that's in Google Classroom. Pi times radius squared times 16. And you can see our answer here is 3,216.99. Now it says to round to the nearest tenth. If I round to the nearest tenth right here, you're going to see that the 9 is above 5, so that's going to round up. That's going to make it 3,217. 3,217. But I'm not done yet because I need my units. The units are yards. And since we're talking about volume, we're going to put this in yards cubed. So whenever we're dealing with volume, you need to have it in cubed form. So let me erase this. And I'm going to go to another problem that has the picture like this. All right, so let's do another one. Let's identify our parts. Well, this is R, this is H. So we have pi times R, which is 7 squared, times H, which is times 21. So go over to our calculator. Pi times 7 squared times 21. And you can see our answer here is 3,232.69. I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, so that 6 is going to round up to 7. So 3,232.7 feet. And we are, again, in cubed units. Good. Now, this one, I want to show you this one real quick. You'll notice that this has the diameter listed. I know it's the diameter because that dashed line goes the whole way across. So if you're doing one of these problems and you're getting it wrong and you know you're plugging in information, check to see whether it's showing you the diameter or radius. If it's showing you the radius, you're good to go. This one shows me the diameter. So my radius of this is actually 4. So when I go to plug this in to the calculator, I'm going to go pi times the radius. My radius is 4 because that's half of the diameter, squared, times my height of 10. And that's 502.65. That's 5 or higher, so that rounds up to 0.7. 502.7 centimeters cubed. Good. You'll have word problems too. And if you encounter word problems, I would just identify, okay, which one's the radius, or is it showing me the diameter like this is? Diameter of 15, that means my radius is 7.5. So we have pi times my radius of 7.5 squared times my height of 3. So pi times 7.5 squared times my height of 3 gives me 530.14, and it just rounds to 0.1. So 530.1, and it's meters cubed. All right, so at this point, go ahead into Get More Math. You have 6 Get More Math problems to do on finding volume of a cylinder. Use the formula sheet, plug them into the calculator. Make sure you are identifying what is your radius, what is your height, so that you can plug them into your formula.